The grass here behind me is called Bermuda grass. Here in Nicaragua we call it grama de estrella because it kind of forms a star. It's stolons. So I used to hate this grass. It's the main reason that I can't walk with the camera.
Howdy doodle do, doodle doodle do. Howdy doodle do, doodle do.
Howdy everybody. I'm getting ready to continue with my work on the fence for the sheep. The sheep are still inside the major dog fence here, and I'm about, hopefully tomorrow, we'll have them out on pasture. But there's a few things that I have to do first. One of them is I have to clear a little bit of the pasture so that I don't have so much grass touching the wires for the fence. That can influence the ability of the fence to function properly. I also wanted, I didn't show you in the last video, but I'm going to try to show you here in this one, that I am acclimating the sheep to the fence. So that's another step. You can't just stick up a fence and expect that the sheep are going to respect it. That takes time. They have to get zapped by it a couple times to realize what it is, and then to respect it, to stay away from it. And I don't want to go through that process out here where they might be able to run away and escape if they freak out. So if they're going to freak out, I want them to freak out where they can't run away, and that's what I did. I put up a line of fence, kind of coincident with the dog fence here, to get them accustomed to the fence. And let me show it to you. So you can see here, wherever you see the blue poles, those are stakes for the wire fence. And you can see it going around there. And the sheep have tested it a couple times, particularly Junior. Junior has tested it a number of times and paid the price for doing that. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and fire up the trimmer and clear some of the ground. Okay, I've cleared enough for a small paddock here behind me. The grass here behind me is called Bermuda grass. Here in Nicaragua we call it grama de estrella because it kind of forms a star. Okay, dude, because it kind of forms a star. It's stolons. So I used to hate this grass. It's the main reason that I can't walk with the camera is because of this grass. Because it has a way of getting around your legs and your feet and tripping you. And of course I tend to walk with my head up in the air, looking all around every place, and I'm not watching where my feet are going, and that's a recipe for disaster. But here's the irony, because I spent the last few years trying to get rid of this grass. And now it turns out that I need it for the sheep. It's not the best pasture grass. It's probably in the middle somewhere in terms of quality. It's not the worst either. I mean, it has decent protein and and what have you. But it definitely is not the best. But it's what I have, and I have quite a bit of it still. Thing about Bermuda grass is that it doesn't grow in the shade. So I was planting trees all over the place trying to shade it out. Now I have to rethink some of that and think about the paddocks that I'm going to have for the sheep, and maybe not have so many trees in there. So tomorrow I'm going to stake this out, put the wire on, and we'll get the sheep out here. Now, as you can see, we've connected the wire to the brain, the green box in there, and we have it crossing the fence, this metal fence, with a PVC tube that we worked on in the last video. So now we're ready to set up the actual fence. And for that, we have a couple of things here. We have the posts. We have more posts down here. And then we have the spool with a wire on it. Now, originally I wasn't even planning on buying one of these spools, but I'm glad I did, because it really is a labor saver. I wish I'd bought more than that because of the way that, you know, the customs and everything here works. But that's it. I've got the one, so I'm going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to place these posts relatively close together compared to what other people do. And I'm doing that because this is the first time that the sheep have been out on the pasture. They are somewhat acclimated to the wire, to the hot fence, but it'll be a different environment for them out here. And I want to make sure that they're well encased here in the wire. So we're going to go try about 2.5 to 3 meters between each post. So let me measure that here from this one right next to me. Now here we are at 2.5 meters. And that seems pretty good to me. I like that. So now we're going to put the post in. I want to make sure that the post is relatively straight with the other one here. And I'm just going to keep going up 2 meters every time, or 2.5 meters. And here we are again. Now, normally, if I was putting up a permanent fence, I would want these posts to be as straight as possible. But since this is a temporary fence, that is not as important. When you have things as straight as possible, it makes the fence a lot more sturdy. That's the reason that you do it. But since it's a temporary fence, and since I have the posts relatively close together, I can kind of cheat a little bit and like go around this bush that was here, and not in a perfect straight line. So now we're going to go up above and put the posts in up there.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself.
Okay, I've staked out a small paddock. Here, you can't see the whole thing. I'll show it to you in just a minute. And now I'm going to put the wire up. 2 strands of wire on the along the stakes. So Watch while I'm doing that. It comes off the spool very easily here, and it's a pretty quick process. Okay, now this first level is at the 30 centimeter or 1 foot mark from the ground. The next one will be higher. It'll be up here, and we keep it down around the 1 foot mark because the sheep have their noses down in the ground a lot, and so we want to make sure it's down low enough that they can't just take their head and flip the wire up. That would be difficult on these type of posts, but we still want to guard against that.
So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you off.
Now you might be thinking, oh no, we ran out of wire. Don't worry, we have plenty of it. It's just a matter of splicing some new wire in. It doesn't affect how the current is going, so don't worry about that. Okay, we've got all the wire attached now, and as you can see, it's coming out here. We've defined a small paddock here. You know, it's just 2 sheep, so it doesn't mean that we have to have a huge paddock. And this is kind of a test paddock anyway, just to see how they're going to behave. Let's see, up here, you can see right here that there's a support post here at the corner. This is the weakest part of the fence, and so I have a support post. Those are rods that don't conduct electricity, so we don't have to worry about them shorting things out. Of course, it comes around here. Going down there, and there's another support rod there at the corner. And there's 2 more support rods up there. I'm probably going to put 2 more support rods here too, at this corner and at that one. But I have to find something I can use for it. And then this is the runway that the sheep will come out from the enclosure here. And I wanted to make sure that they have plenty of room, that they're not too freaked out. And you'll notice that down here, this is an important feature of it here, because they're gonna come out through this door here, and they're gonna have to make a sharp left-hand turn. And I didn't want them to meet the wire immediately when they came out, because then they might be afraid to walk out. So I've made this little cul-de-sac here where they can, it's not quite as intimidating. They can come out, kind of adapt, and then follow me up the rest of the way. So tomorrow is going to be the moment of truth. We're going to let the sheep out and see if they behave as expected. Hopefully they will, and they'll enjoy eating the pasture. And we will have launched ourselves on something new with the electric fence. So if you find these videos to be beneficial to you, please click the like button. If you like the channel, you like the content that I'm making, please consider subscribing to it. That helps me a lot. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.